At some point in your life, have you ever felt failed? Late? No significant results? If your answer is yes, I understand you perfectly, because that's exactly how I felt. This video has the proposal to reveal you the secret that made him have in his hands a fortune of $3 million and put an end to all this bad feeling. Stay until the end with an open mind, because if it worked for him, it can also work for you. The universe is mental. The Kabbalion. I remember the first time I heard of Neville Goddard. It was through a friend who attended his lectures on Sundays at the theater. She spoke of him with such reverence, saying he had a secret that could unlock the life of your dreams. To be honest, I was skeptical. How could a man of philosophy have the answers to something as deep as creating wealth or manifesting success? She invited me to go to the next lecture. Even without believing I went, I felt a mixture of mistrust and curiosity. Because I was sure he was no more than a quack. I settled in my place, and immediately caught my attention the number of people who were there to hear him. And then, Neville Goddard came on stage. As he started to speak, something changed. His words were not the kind of superficial motivation I was used to. They carried a weight, a conviction that was difficult to ignore. He spoke of imagination, not as a mere tool of creativity, but as the very essence of reality. Still, a voice in the back of my mind whispered doubts. That must be a blow, she said. It can't be that simple. But there was another voice, softer, more insistent, encouraging me to listen, to open my mind a little more. Then he said something that caught me off guard. He assured us that he was not there to take our money, and in fact, he did not want a penny from us. Instead, he offered us a challenge, a mental exercise, something so simple, but so peculiar that it made me question everything I thought I knew. Neville proposed the following challenge. Mental exercise has 2 stages, 1 stage per week. In the first stage of the first week, you should go to a quiet place where you will not be disturbed, preferably in your rooms. Being there, relax your mind and begin to imagine a ladder. It can be wooden, aluminum, of concrete, any model that comes into your consciousness, okay? Now imagine going up that ladder, climb the first step, hold on to the railing, climb the second step, until you reach the top. There, look down, feel that little chill in your stomach and start descending. Repeat this process in your imagination until you feel the sense of reality. That is, until you cannot distinguish between what is real and imagined. Then take a sheet of paper and write the following phrase: I will not climb a ladder and leave close to you. Very easy to see you. Paste on the door, the refrigerator, in your dining table, in the car, on your desk. It is necessary that throughout the day you remember the sentence you wrote. Okay. The second stage I will talk about in the second week, but it is not for everyone, only for those people who have been successful, who actually managed to give reality in their imagination, who climbed an imaginary ladder, combined. The room was vibrating with murmurs of confusion. What was the point of this exercise? Why imagine climbing a ladder, just to tell ourselves we wouldn't? It seemed contradictory, almost absurd, but Neville didn't flinch. He stood there, calm and composed, as if he knew something we did not know, something we could not yet understand. My mind was filled with questions. Was that some kind of trick? Was he testing us? And if so, what was the purpose? Part of me wanted to dismiss it as nonsense, go out and never look back. But another part of me, the part that was tired of feeling trapped, of living in the shadow of my own doubts, could not let go. So I decided to take the challenge. Despite my persistent skepticism, I committed myself to exercise. For 3 consecutive nights, I did exactly what Neville instructed. Every night before going to sleep, I closed my eyes and imagined myself climbing that ladder. I focused on every detail, the roughness of the wood, the metal freezes, the constant pace of my ascent. It became so vivid that I could almost feel the muscles in my arms and legs working as I climbed higher and higher. During the day, the words "I will not climb a ladder" looked at me from every corner of my house. It was such a strange contrast. My nights were full of vivid images of climbing, and my days were filled with constant memories that I would not do. Part of me wondered if I was wasting my time, if this was just an elaborate mental trick with no real purpose. But another part of me was curious, even intrigued by the possibility that something else was happening, something I still could not understand. On Saturday, I went to visit my parents in Santa Monica, at the request of my mother. I took the bus because I was short of money, as I mentioned earlier. Arriving there, I saw my father on top of the house, doing a maintenance on the roof, and said to me, "So my son, bring me the bucket of paint. I need to finish this job." I answered, "Okay, Dad." When I arrived at the middle of the stairs, at the time I remembered Neville Goddard, his exercise. It was very natural, and I thought to myself, look where I'm climbing a ladder. This was no coincidence. It was a direct manifestation of exercise, a physical reality born from a simple act of imagination. I handed the bucket of paint to my father and gave a slight smile. Of course, he did not understand anything. It was very interesting. The next day, on Sunday, I returned to the theater to hear the second stage of the challenge, since I managed to meet the prerequisite of the first stage. Neville said, "The same principle that made you climb a ladder could be applied to any aspect of life, even to something seemingly unattainable as wealth." Without a shadow of doubt, they could have won $1 million. This time, as I listened to what Neville was saying, the skepticism that once clouded my thoughts was replaced by a sense of wonder. I understood the power of what Neville was trying to teach us. The power of imagination was not just an abstract concept, it was real and had the ability to shape my reality in ways I had never considered before. "Imagine," he said, with his calm and confident voice, "what you really want. Not just passing through, but with the same vivid detail, the same intensity that you used with the ladder. See yourself living in abundance, feel the emotions that come with it, and trust that what you imagine will be brought to your reality." I went home that night and began to apply the same principle to my financial situation. I imagined myself living in abundance, making more money than I ever dreamed possible. I didn't just see the numbers. I felt the weight of money in my hands, the freedom it brought, the joy of being able to provide for myself and others. I let these images and feelings fill my mind, as vividly as I imagined that ladder. The days turned into weeks, and before I knew it, opportunities began to present themselves. First, it was a small increase in work, then a side business that took off unexpectedly. Money began to flow into my life in ways I had not foreseen. I could not help but think of Neville's words. The process was almost surreal, but it was happening, and it was happening quickly. In a short time, the trickle of lace turned into a constant flow and then into a flood. Successful business, paid investments, and the wealth I imagined became my reality. In what seemed like a short time, I had accumulated a fortune of $3 million, a sum that I thought was out of my reach. It wasn't just money that changed my life, though. It was the realization that I had accessed something incredibly powerful. I had learned that my imagination was not just a place for daydreaming, but a tool to create the life I wanted. The transformation was more than financial. It was a profound and personal change in the way I saw the world and my place within it. Please leave your like, subscribe to the channel, leave in the comments, what is the wish that even today, you will give life, through your powerful and wonderful imagination. With this first taste of success, something inside me awakened. I realized that the power to shape my reality was always within my grasp, but I didn't know how to use it. The $3 million was just the beginning, a tangible proof that the principles taught by Neville Goddard could be applied to any area of my life. So I started using this technique, this new understanding of imagination, in everything I did. Whenever I faced a challenge, I would turn inside, closing my eyes and imagining the result I wanted. I stopped seeing problems as obstacles and started to see them as opportunities to shape my reality according to my will. I envisioned success in my career, deeper connections in my relationships, and even better health. Whenever I did this, the results were undeniable. Things that previously seemed out of reach began to enter the axis, as if the universe itself was aligning with the images I kept in my mind. It wasn't always easy. There were times of doubt, times when old habits of fear and negativity tried to come back. But each time, I remembered the ladder, that first apparently impossible manifestation, and how it had become real. I had evidence, and that evidence became my anchor whenever doubts tried to shake my belief. Over the years, this practice became second nature. I no longer wondered if it would work, I knew it would. My confidence grew with each new success, each new manifestation. I began to see life as a blank canvas, where I held the brush, painting the future that I wanted to live. Now, whenever I put my sights on a goal, I see it in my mind, feel it in my heart, and know with every fiber of my being that it is coming to me. Whether it's something as simple as a quiet day or as grand as a new business adventure, I approach it with the same certainty, the same tranquility confidence that led me to so many victories. This continued application of Neville's teachings has done more than just change my circumstances, it has transformed the way I live my life. Every day, I wake up with a sense of purpose, knowing that I have the power to create the world I want to live in. The fear of the unknown, the anxiety of what could go wrong, all of them disappeared. In their place is a deep and permanent trust in my ability to manifest all that I want. When thinking about everything I've learned and experienced, one last piece of advice stands out, something so simple but so deeply impactful. Never go to bed feeling depressed or unhappy. It may seem like a small thing, but the emotions you carry to sleep are much more powerful than you think. When you go to sleep, your mind doesn't just turn off. Instead, it continues to work, processing the events of the day and, more importantly, printing out any emotions you have kept. If you go to bed with feelings of sadness, anger, or fear, these emotions will sink deep into your subconscious, planting seeds that will grow and manifest in your waking life. The negativity that you take to bed does not disappear, it takes root, influencing your thoughts, your actions, and finally your reality. That's why it is so crucial. Before going to sleep, focus on what makes you happy. It doesn't have to be anything great or extraordinary, just something that brings you peace, joy, or contentment. It can be a memory, a vision of your dreams becoming reality, or simply the feeling of gratitude for the good things in your life. Whatever it is, let it fill your mind, your heart, and your soul. By doing this, you are not only improving your sleep, but also actively creating the future you want to live. You are programming your subconscious with the emotions and images that will shape your reality. Over time, you will find that your days begin to reflect the positivity you bring to your nights. The challenges will still come, as they always do, but you will face them with a lighter heart, a clearer mind, and an unwavering belief in your ability to overcome them. The purpose of life, I have come to understand, is not to suffer or struggle without end, but to find happiness, create it, nurture it, and let it flourish in every aspect of our lives. And the key to that happiness, to that realization, is in how we use our imagination before sleep. So tonight, when you put your head on your pillow, take a moment to let go of anything that is weighing you down. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and fill your mind with thoughts about what you really want. See, feel, believe in it with every fiber of your being. And know that while you sleep, these thoughts and feelings are working, quietly but forcefully, to bring your dreams to life.